Got a backstage twerking to our open ends. This ain't just some summer song. This that droppy panties bomb. This that late night boy strong. Talk your shit and tag along. I see the crew posted up, shirts off, peers up, talking louder than your ex. Wish you fuck shit up. Too raw, too deep. We don't sleep, we eat. Hotter than a bikini when you're 13. Now we out here living that goddamn dream. We don't ball, even dumbest. Thought it in the mall, it's the body custom linger. It's that hell yeah, let's go. We ain't taking summers off. We melt ice with what we drop. Sipping bourbon, talking reckless. Still our hottest in the spot. We them boys with the flame. Say our name, say it vain. Then we cook your whole brand like a steak in propane. Still wild, still elite, still them boys with the heat. Hotter than your first crush pics on the beach when you were 13. Now we filthy rich with the reach.
That's still like the whole.
The fingers, the hook. The hook is the background, if you had noticed. Colby. It's the Colby hook.
And you have had to watch the episode to understand the meaning behind why this is the shot.
It is. What did we get? We got only one person, I think, said he was going to get skunked. That was you. Everybody else thought 2 points, 1 point. I have faith in him to make a shot. It's just when he makes the shot.
All day.
I pray and hope one day we find out.
All day, bro. I could put my beard in a ponytail. I can make a hook shot on Leslie.
Lisa, don't disrespect the great.
I love it.
Greatest big woman of all time.
I'm being serious right now. You got to help me out here.
Lisa frickin' Leslie.
That's what I said, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, Miss Leslie. That's what I said. Yeah.
That's crazy. I also said she was 38 years old on the show. And the only person's eyebrows to raise because the two of you were going at it was my own. And I was like, yeah, she's 52 or 55.
Definitely in her 50s.
I was like, she's way older than I am. What the hell am I thinking?
All right. Pop minute. Bruce Springsteen's vault release. Bruce Springsteen is set to release a massive box set titled Tracks 2, The Lost Albums, on June 27th. This collection includes 7 previously unreleased albums spanning from 1983 to 2018, featuring 83 songs, 74 of which have never been heard before.
Damn.
The album explores diverse styles from country influences in Somewhere North of Nashville to orchestral arrangements in Twilight Hours. Fans are thrilled about this treasure trove of music, which also includes a 100-page book with rare photos. Number 2, Jason Momoa. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How many bangers do you think are on there?
11. Jason Momoa's return to Dune. Jason Momoa confirms his return as Duncan Idaho in the third Dune movie, which is expected to adapt Frank Herbert's Dune Messiah. Despite the character's death in the first film, Momoa will reprise the role as a resurrected clone, known as a Gola. I probably said that wrong. The movie is set to begin filming this summer and is slated for release in December 2026. And finally, Chrissy Teigen's grasshopper incident. Chrissy Teigen had a hilarious moment on the set of Deal or No Deal Island when a grasshopper flew up her dress during filming. The unexpected visitor caused quite a scene, with Teigen laughingly recounting how she had to show her butt to everybody while trying to remove the insect. The incident has since gone viral, adding to her reputation for embracing awkward moments with humor.
Can you imagine a fucking grasshopper crawling up your ass crack?
That's...
How uncomfortable that would be. Even a man, a woman, a child, I don't care who you are.
Just take me home.
Yeah. You're known as the grasshopper queen now.
Sorry if I ruined any of y'all's grocery trips, but that's what you would read in the grocery aisle. How has everyone's sports weekers been?
It hasn't been ruined yet.
I'm okay.
I'm really enjoying how everything played out. So this is the middle of the week while we're recording this, so we're gonna rewind all the way back to Sunday.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take you to a moment in time where I was driving and I was hearing all of these women basketball experts tell me that the one thing they knew for sure,
Yep.
not that they thought,
Not maybe.
but the one thing they knew for sure was that this game wasn't going to be a blowout. And I'm not sure if I was the only one watching, but this game was definitely a blowout.
Oh yeah, they cleared the bench. You don't clear the. I don't know if the bench has ever been cleared in a national championship game.
I've seen UConn
no,
do it
I mean,
before.
no, I'm saying outside of women's basketball.
Oh yeah,
It's never. I don't think it's ever happened in a men's championship game unless they were just letting them in at the end of the game.
Like, it was bad.
it was really bad.
It was bad.
What was the final? It was like 82,
I think it was like
82 to 58 or something. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, they said the last time Carolina and South Carolina lost this bad was to UConn at around the same score.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
It was bad.
There was a lot of embarrassing moments, including multiple breakdowns on the bench, but I don't give a shit about any of that. I honestly care more. First of all, shout out to the individuals on the court that were playing. They really did play their hearts out. One side came into that game thinking the other side was actually going to play basketball. Shockingly, only one side played basketball.
Oh, coming off
South Carolina to play like that, knowing how dominant of a team that they are year in and year out. Every year, South Carolina is usually one of those top schools, and for them to get embarrassed like that on national TV by that big of a gap.
The writing was in the wall, per se. So if you looked, UConn's big three, let's say, UConn's Hydras, we can call them, because they were wheeling and dealing the entire tournament. I think they won every game by 30 points, I'm thinking, is what that ended up being. Or at least the average over a 30-point victory. But on the other side, South Carolina's leading scorer was different every single game of the tournament. Now, as to where before, you would have Asia Wilson or Elijah Brown or
It was always a dominant player.
Alea Brown. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said
Alea Boston.
Alea Boston. Where the fuck did I go there?
The fact that UConn
Thank you,
was led
Paul.
by a freshman in the national championship game, it just leads me to believe that Gino's going to win another one, if not next year.
He's got 12 of them. Like,
I think they're
history.
yeah.
I believe.
South Carolina's got the best odds right now to start. So yeah, I'd put money on UConn. They destroy.
It's wicked. It was wicked.
It'll be interesting to see Juju Watkins come back. It'll be interesting to see how
Last year.
how USC
Well,
plays
how can they recruit? Yeah, can they get any transfers? I believe South Carolina just got the #1 scoring player in the country transferred in. Obviously, not a big shock to anybody considering the fact that South Carolina.
But something that we were just talking about here and something that I just brought up, thank you for adding that, Patrick, it was beautiful, is that South Carolina didn't have a go-to shooter. They didn't have a go-to person, and you've seen it. Like, when South Carolina needed a basket in this championship, they couldn't find it. And on the other side of that, you had UConn going to one of their three Hydras.
And it was just scoring.
And nothing could stop them. So it was clear who was the better team. The better team definitely won. I just shout out to all of those fantastic experts, those women's college basketball experts, who the only thing they knew was that this game wasn't going to be a blowout. So out of everything else they told you, the only thing they knew was that this game wasn't going to be a blowout. It did end up having something like 7.4 million less viewers than last year's women's national championship. So I'm wondering if a Juju Watkins, Paige Becker's NCAA championship would have been...
Paige is leaving, though.
I understand that. No, I'm just talking about this year. I don't
would
know
it
who
been
it's
different. Maybe it could have been.
I think there would have been more eyeballs on that one.
Yeah, because you got two of the biggest in
even
college basketball.
I was loving seeing Juju's in the Big Ten now, so we do tend to get to see them more now. So
Yeah.
I feel like we're very blessed with that scenario being in the Big Ten.
That would have been an interesting matchup if somehow, even if it was like just a semifinals, or if it was in it, depending. I don't know what the route was, but yeah, if they could have met up, that would have been an interesting game to watch.
It definitely would have been. Do you two have anything else you wanted to say about?
I'm like,
because I don't want to. I'm not going to lie. So if you ask me any question, I'll tell you the truth.
no, I'm like, I still think this doesn't. I don't think it stains anything on Dawn Staley's glorious career that she has coaching in South Carolina. Because I mean, all the greats have lost. All the greats have lost.
Yeah, she's 1-2 against the greatest after Pat.
Wow, the only thing.
And Don's going to be the greatest after Gino. Don may even surpass Gino in accolades and all of that other spit. But
no, she won't. He's got 12 national titles.
I'm just silly.
Touch him.
I'm like, he might not. She might not. Let's say she might not touch him in overall championship games, but she will go down if she keeps going at the rate that she's going with the recruiting, and then if she finally adapts to the transfer portal, like most of these coaches do, she can go down as one of the top coaches to ever coach women's basketball.
Oh yeah, of course she will.
Without a doubt.
He did it without NIL, and she's going to do it with NIL. That's the biggest difference.
But you can't put that on her though.
Yeah, I don't, because
that's
a good point.
But when it's all said and done,
the game is different.
You can't compare the two.
But being able to do it with longevity and NIL is going to be something more difficult. There's been 9 years in between UConn's championships here. That's a long time. In UConn standards, and us normal people, we're just happy to get to the playoffs. All right?
Let me just get to the Final Four and say I made it to the Final Four.
I just want to get through the first fucking weekend. You don't understand. Hell yeah, we made it into the second weekend. That's awesome.
Especially at the pedigree that women's UConn basketball is at. Yeah. They're like one of the standards when it comes to that because of Gino.
Oh, so congratulations, women's basketball. We're still talking about you. Of course, we love you. We care about you. But don't get crazy. That was more towards the WNBA. So moving towards the NCAA men's championship game.
Heartbreaker.
What a heartbreaker. But Patrick, I said Monday, I said it. I told everyone, if you were listening, I said, whoever's winning at halftime is not going to be the person to win that game.
Granted, if it was 10 points, I wouldn't have believed you, but 3 points, I was thinking, I'm like, I told Mandy too, I said, Charles said, well, it's been the roller coaster that was NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that Florida has come back from behind in this tournament either way.
So they ended up going down almost 14 before they came back. 12?
12 with 15 minutes to go. There's a lot of time though when that happened.
It happened with about 8 minutes. 6 minutes, it was going back and forth. Florida was swarming them.
I do not like what happened in the first half though. I do not like the officiating calling 4 fucking fouls in the first half and calling 26 in the second half.
Especially in the national
championship
bullshit. Game.
That's bullshit. And everybody could see that it was bullshit.
26 total
in the second half.
In the second half.
And they called 4 or 5 in the first half. And they played exactly the same. They played.
So there was no preemptive.
Let's be honest. The officials were just trying to get a handle on the game. They weren't trying to control the game.
It was a very defensive and physical game. That's correct. And maybe in the first half they gave their warnings. And they told the players that if it continued in the second half, that the calls were going to start coming.
That's not how officiating should work, though. You're supposed to do that as the game's going on.
I agree with you, but
obvious as fuck when you
we've heard it in the NFL, especially with offensive defensive linemen per se, where they're like, "Hey, watch your hands, watch your hands, watch your hands." Okay. I told you
only get so many warnings.
Yeah, you only get so many warnings. There were some pretty shitty calls that didn't get called.
I don't disagree with you. I would just we like to play both sides on this show.
Florida's defense, though, towards the end,
defense won that championship.
Hard.
I thought Houston's defense was better, but Florida's defense showed up.
Houston
mattered
missed
the
too many
most.
shots. Yeah, Houston missed like 7 threes in a row at the end of the
But
game.
the way that Houston lost on
That last sequence, basically on a shot clock violation.
That was stupid. You shouldn't have, you
crazy.
why would you do that?
He's trying to draw the foul is what he looked like he was trying to do.
Did not pan out.
Nope.
He lost the ball.
And then he stood there and he's like
three turnovers by, I believe his name is Shepard. And I hope I said that wrong.
Are you talking about the big dude that freaking traveled 3 times in a row down the court?
No, the guy who gave the ball away
at the end.
At
I think
the
it was
end, yeah.
Beard or Shepard, I believe.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that was
not to be an asshole, but he wants to forget that, and so we should forget his name, and later we can remember his name for something he wants us to remember it by. Just like the guy who got scored on by Ovi, which we're definitely going to talk about that here in a second. I do feel bad for the young man. He played one hell of a game, but Florida's guard starts with a C.
I'm trying to find something real quick.
Oh, you're Crosby or whatever his name is. I believe it's Crosby Klein or something like that.
Anyways, Florida's guard was elite.
Sheed is his name.
Sheed is the guy for Houston.
This is the crazy thing. He is the first guy since Hakeem Olajuwon to get AP first team All-American for Houston, for the University of Houston. And it sucks that this is how your last game of your career in college, this is how it's going to go down.
Unfortunately, nobody from Florida really played that good. The best player only had 42% shooting, and a couple guys were 20% from the field. But it was their defense, like you said, that won in that game. It wasn't the offense. Hell, they only scored 65. They only scored 65 freaking points in a game.
Walter Clayton Jr.
He was a balmy 3 for 10.
Oh no, he had a terrible first half.
All of them had terrible.
But Richardson was the savior of that first half for Florida. Once it seemed like Florida dropped the jitters first.
They won that game at the free throw line. They shot 17 for 21 from the free throw line, and Houston was 9 of 14. They won the game at the line. That's why I said the officials took it over in the second half. It is what it is. I would rather have a close game than a blowout.
Yeah. It was a good game. It had good plays. It had good offense at moment.
They were the two best teams. They both deserved to be there. So,
here's my biggest question of it all. Is the University of Houston the biggest loser in all of this?
No.
In a sense of what?
In a sense of recruitment for basketball.
They just dumped so much money into their school and their state.
I don't think it is
stadium. No, there's money coming out of their ears for that.
I think them being in the Big 12 definitely helps them stay where they're at. I don't think they're the biggest loser. I think them getting to the national championship game is going to boost their recruitment. It's just a matter of, can Coach Sampson get them over that hump next year?
69 years old.
He's been to the final.
I thought he was retired.
Now that he's in he made it to the championship with Houston, because I think they went 2021 to the Final Four and lost in the Final Four.
Yeah, they've been around for the last 10 years. They've been in and out of the Sweet 16. And
being in the Big 12, though, now you're in a bigger market as far as conference-wise when it comes to basketball, because you're playing against Kansas. You're playing against those big college schools now. But again, next year, are you going to be able to repeat that and actually finish it, or are you going to fall off?
They don't even recruit anymore. It's all freaking transfer.
But even transfer portal is still technically recruiting.
Yeah, it's all money, pockets.
Well, regardless of that, this is why I ask this. 1983, 1984.
Yeah, last 2 times.
Yeah.
2025.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
It was a big gap. Again,
Houston seems to be the bridesmaid and never the bride. If I'm the other school marketing, recruiting for anybody else, this is easy for me. You're thinking about going to Houston? That's cute. How many people remember second place?
Yeah, but
because all Houston gets is second. Yeah, but when it's all about the money, Houston has X dollars. We match those dollars.
No,
we have championships. They have wish you would chips. Why would you want to go to Houston? They can't get the job done.
No, but it doesn't matter. In basketball, it seems like sending players to the NBA more than it is winning championships, because that's why you get the one and dones. How many of them really care about a championship? They just unless you're 100
I don't got a dog in
you're
this
on your
fight
seventh
because my
fucking
men's
team.
basketball team doesn't have a title, so I can't really.
What did you say? Your team doesn't have a title?
Not in men's basketball. And the last time we were in the Final Four period was back in 2003.
That was with Kevin Garnett, eh?
No, that was with TJ Ford.
Anything is possible.
Just believe.
So I'm like, what was y'all's most recent Final Four?
2006, 16, 15?
Yeah.
14.
A handful of years ago.
I don't know. It was a while back.
Trey Burke, I think.
Oh, that was a good run.
The shot that
that was with I think Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson and all those guys too.
Trey Burke was like 2012, 2011.
That's when Louisville bought the championship.
Yeah, when
they cheated, yanked from them.
Oh, the one that was stolen from them because they cheated. And,
You know what I'm saying? Louisville got theirs yanked.
Yeah, that one. That's
non-existent.
Yeah.
That year doesn't count.
Yeah, so they called Michigan and they're like, "Do you want this?" And they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Click. And hung up. Get the fuck out of here.
Give us our other ones back and then give us this.
You should have. It was ours to begin with. That whole starting five was in foul trouble. With any other refs in the game, we didn't have pockets to be filled. Assholes. But anyways, yeah.
Oh,
shout
20,
out St. John's.
2013. 2013.
2013. Nice. Nice. The odds makers, the way too early odds makers, are very high on Michigan next year, but we won't talk.
I believe they're top 5.
We won't talk about them. But shout out Houston for keeping Big Dog off the court during the Final Four celebration.
We talked about this. Paul and I I can't wrap my head around it.
This, again, going back, you brought up the years, Charles. 1983, 1984.
Yeah.
Outside of Clyde Drexler,
Houston is
he was
definitely
in that
a
same
place.
year. He was there with him playing in universities. Outside of Clyde Drexler.
The Phi Slamma Jamma era, led by Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler.
Who else can you tell me from the
Glide.
University of Houston since 1984 that was made Houston men's basketball relevant?
Why would I want to go there? They're alumni.
And then for you to say, I didn't know. You don't know who this big
he was told. You could see it. You could see in the video. He was told, "Bro, go watch American Pie and go visit your Stifler friend and fuck out of here."
You have got to.
And not Sean William Scott. That dude's awesome. I love that guy.
You got to be the dumbest security guard in the world to be like, he's not on my list. I don't care who he's on. It's Hakeem Olajuwon, a Hall of Famer, 2-time NBA champion. The reason why University of Houston even exists still.
Yeah. I don't mean to bring this up, but how do you have a job in that?
And you don't know.
Like, scenario, right? Like how? Like, oh, it's probably a private security company. How do they? And it's like, no, listen, no, I get that. But even if I'm the private security firm, like I'm not sending somebody who doesn't know basketball.
The situation, read the room. And this is my thing. Let's say that was the case, right? Let's say you didn't know who he was. Let's just play devil's advocate, right? I'm looking at my supervisor. Hey, is this guy good? And if my supervisor says, yeah, he's good, I'm like,
the guy that ran over to him had all these lanyards on, trying to be like, yo, dude, this guy is legit.
He can go.
He had the press pass to get into the locker room.
And
why did that not give him justification to go on the court? It made no sense.
He's already on the court. You think they're just going to let random people?
This is somebody that could just walk out on the court, and the television would have went to media timeout. So everyone could figure out what was going on.
Who the fuck besides security didn't know who he was? Because he was signing autographs in between commercials.
And let's be honest, this is an NBA player.
Yeah.
Or a former NBA player, I'm sorry.
Great.
Which means that he was looking you in the eyes while standing 3.5 feet lower than you. He is not a normal human being. That should have told you everything you need to know right there.
This isn't the limo driver.
This isn't just some
dude
me
or you.
who's like running from the back of the situational awareness should have told you at bare minimum. I've got a giant in front of me with a Houston shirt on who's old.
It says alum on it.
Come on, bro.
Let me get
Does
this straight.
somebody know who this big giant
What is he going to do? What is Gramps going to do regardless?
So,
you think he's lost?
The Final Four was in San Antonio, which was basically home for Houston, right?
Oh, yeah, that crowd was
right? So you're telling me you're going to let students storm the court, but you're not going to let this big motherfucker join the university in celebrating a win to the championship game?
At what point when you realized you weren't looking down at this individual, you were basically looking up, and he has a hunched back and everything.
And he still got height on you.
And you're just like, yeah, no, I can't let you up here. Again, too, dude, listen.
You're fired.
What is this old dude going to do? He's
like,
already
what,
made it through security, so he's got nothing on him that can hurt anyone other than himself. You can push the dude over and he's going to fall. What is he going to do?
He's not nimble anymore like that.
What that out of all the people rushing the court, out of all the people rushing the court,
that's the one you're worried about.
That's the guy you're worried about.
He's the one that scares you.
It's really hard sometimes when I sit here and I hear people are like, blah, 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 racism, right? But every once in a while, there's an idiot like this, and you're just kind of like,
that's the only thing I can. That's the only justification that
it's
I can.
the only justification I can think of.
Give me an explanation why you didn't let him on the court. Give me one.
He's old.
What security risk was he?
Here's the thing. This is
what security risk?
Hey, this is the Final Four. You cannot tell me that dude did not have an earpiece in his ear. Somebody was telling him. He didn't radio in and say, "Hey, did anybody know who this fella is?" Oh, that's Akeem Olajuwon.
You couldn't put eyes
oh
on
no,
nobody.
you're not allowed on the court.
So I'm just here. I'm not calling you that, bro. I don't care.
I'll do it.
But if you happen to meant like what the was going through your mind, we'd love to hear it.
I'm just curious.
We're just curious.
What's
right?
the thought process when you saw this 7'2" man with
freaked
a hunch?
out?
So that takes at least a couple inches off, but still.
Guess what? He's just their universal giant fan. That's all it is. He's just a giant.
He's just a random guy that's 3 feet
I grew up on the movie Iron Giant.
I'm
just 2.5 feet taller than you, but I'm random.
I just watched that movie David on Angel Studios. Which, by the way, T-Mobile's got a pretty sweet deal on that. Like 7 months for $3 or some shit like that.
Watch it in the air up there. Or what's the other one? White men can't jump.
Something I want to talk to everyone about.
I didn't do it.
There's a major event coming up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So it's the perfect time to remind anyone out there who's heading to this event to please keep your eyes open for sex traffickers. Oh. There is a buttload of things. I'll get you the link, Patrick, so we can post it on these videos. It's like awakensomething.org. I'll get it to you afterwards. But there's a buttload of signs to look out for. These events are where sex traffickers make a lot of money. So anything and everything we can do as the everyday person to combat that. It's a huge note on my list here. It's awakensomething.org.
It blows my mind. I'm imagining that they're going to have to bring in special security for this. The NFL is going to have to ask for how many police officers and organizers and auxiliary people, and it's going to be crazy. What's the amount of people we're expecting in Green Bay? Is it 200,000? Is what they're around 200,000, right?
Over 250,000. That's correct.
Oh, over 250? I thought Detroit set the record with 200,000 last year.
Wait, no, listen, hold on. The record, Detroit did set it, and it's well over 700,000, but Green Bay is expecting over 250,000. Where did I lose you? Awakenings.org, that's what it's called. Awakenings.org. Go ahead, check that website out. For anybody and everybody going there, it will give you signs and things to look for. So maybe you can be the hero your wife or girlfriend or husband or boyfriend reads about in their romance novels.
Oh, yeah, that's throughout the 3 days, though. It's 275 is the record.
Oh, for one day?
1 day, yeah.
For 1 day. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking 1 day. I'm sorry. I was looking up the awakenings.org, AWAKENINGS.org. I just wanted to give that shout out there. We've been doing those types of things this episode. We're going to be there. You and I are going to be there, and we're going to have the camera rolling. We're going to be YouTubing, Facebook Live. This week, I'm actually going to go up with our Facebook. I'm going to do a Facebook Live to show everybody kind of what the stage is looking like, how big it's looking, how it's getting, where it's getting to.
Yeah, they started, last week?
Yeah, they started last weekend. It's starting to move pretty quickly, so I'm going to get down there. I think Friday morning I'm going to head down there. So go ahead and catch us on the Facebook page Friday morning. I'm going to go Facebook Live for that one. We'll We'll be there for that.
Believe
Gents,
on
and-
draft day 2 on Thursday or Friday. If you want to catch Charles and I in Denmark at the card show, you probably will catch us there too as well. Checking out some sports cards, maybe selling a few. I don't know.
And make sure you download that NFL One Pass because
You will not be
all
able
the
to get in
information is
without
going to be coming out soon. Everything's free except food and what you buy from the pro shop and shit like that. But there's going to be a buttload of Packer alumni, current and former players who are going to be coming out for events, doing signings and doing a bunch of things. So, people, this is the ultimate NFL fan experience. So, remember 2 things. Ensure you're making core memories. And there's going to be a lot of fucking people. Just deal with it.
it. That's how it is. There's going to be a lot of people.
Fucking deal with it. There's going to be a lot of fucking people.
A lot of people crammed into a small area.
All right. It's going to be fun. We're going to get to go down on the field and take pictures. We're going to get to do Lambo leaps. Bro.
Ooh, that should be fun.
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
Just make sure you land on humans and not
It's
back.
I don't even know if I can make it. Dude, that leap is large.
No, I can't jump. I
don't know if I can
9
jump,
feet.
but I'm going to try my fucking
I'm gonna
hardest.
get Charles jumping up there. We'll get him making the attempt. I don't know, like you said.
So now, speaking of, this will give you some time, PR. I'm not sure how much you have bears ready, but I'm sure you have more than enough. But something I wanted, anywho, did we catch everything? No, Ovi scored. Ovi scored. Before we get into the NFL, Ovi scored. I guess Wayne Gretzky is now chasing Ovi. He's 1 goal away from tying the all-time leader in goals scored, which is now Alex Ovechkin. Nowhere near him in points, but goals, yes.
I have a question when it comes to Ovi. I
Okay.
heard this on First Take.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but they asked. Now let's stick. I know what I'm gonna say, but let's keep it to where it's, because I know how you're gonna feel about one person when it comes to this question.
I'm an open book.
Whose 20-year career is better, Ovi's or LeBron's?
Ovi.
I say Ovi. Shannon said
Ovi.
LeBron.
He's
Reason
paid
why-
to say LeBron.
So the reason why because I can't remember his name. I think his name was Saban, the hockey player. He used to
Pecan. Yeah, Pecan. Subban. Yeah.
Subban.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
said,
PK
you're not
Subban,
going to
yeah.
sit here and disrespect Obi for the last 20 years. And it's saying, he was saying, I'm not taking away from LeBron's greatness. Because what he's done in 22 years, yes, that's great. Cool, whatever. However, you're not going to sit here and tell me that somebody at 39, 40 years old playing in the contact sport of hockey and still be able to average 30 to 40 goals a season while getting checked night in and night out. And you're going to tell me that LeBron's career, as far as when you look at the whole spectrum, is better? Again, not taking away from LeBron, but you can't sit here and tell me that the contact that Ovi has to endure over 20 years, and that's just in the NHL. I'm pretty sure he had some amateur time while he was in Russia before he got drafted into the NHL at 18. So you got, as a kid, you're playing this game, so you've probably got 25, 30 years in this game as Ovi.
Yeah.
So
Playing as an amateur and as a pro, and then probably in the Olympics, all that jazz. You're not going to sit here and tell me that his career isn't better than LeBron's.
No, I wouldn't personally say that, and I agree with you. I think Charles is on board with us as well. There's been too many hiccups in LeBron's career. Let's just say it that way. To be nice.
How many games has LeBron missed a year?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to confirm. I had heard a little bit, and I didn't get to do my homework in time, but the homework has been done. Here is the bottom line.
Yeah,
for
hit
this.
us with it.
When Michael Jordan gave the NBA to LeBron James, more or less, he handed the NBA over at its peak, 29 million viewers per game.
Yeah.
Right now, in the past decade, regular season NBA games have averaged between 1.5 to 1.9 million viewers. It's gone from 29 million viewers a game.
They were saying,
Is that a detriment to people not watching it on cable or not streaming it like that? They're finding other avenues to watch these.
No, I looked at viewers, and this is across all networks like ABC, ESPN, and TNT.
Yeah, this is a crazy stat. Had viewership continued to grow the way it did when Michael Jordan, Barkley, all these Isaiah Thomas, all these guys were playing, Larry Bird, that the NBA's revenue would rival the NFL.
I believe it.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about money. I'm not talking about viewership. But it would have got to the point, rivaled it. Nobody was going to break the NFL, but it would rival it, as in it was number 2. And I believe what the NBA now is number 3. Is it behind baseball?
But this is the thing. This is the crazy thing. For the Christmas games,
it might
more
be
people watch the NFL games on Christmas Day than they did the basketball games.
Yeah,
that alone tells you that the NBA's viewership and their ratings are not as big as they used to be when NBA used to dominate.
Absolutely.
NBA on Christmas.
So now on the opposite side of this scale, we've got Alex Ovechkin and Wayne Gretzky, which arguably we can be having the same conversation about these two individuals these four individuals in their individual sports.
Right.
Correct? Having a paragraph with Wayne Gretzky and Alex Ovechkin and Michael Jordan and LeBron James, that's not far-fetched. In the 90s, it was a pivotal time for NHL, especially with Wayne Gretzky's influence. His trade to the Los Angeles Kings in 1988 helped grow hockey's popularity in the U.S. During the Stanley Cup in the 90s, you averaged around 4 to 5 million viewers. The last time the Washington Capitals were in the Stanley Cup, every game the Washington Capitals were in averaged 4.8 million viewers. So the game is brought back to just as good or better with Ovi doing what he's doing today as what Wayne was doing back in the 90s.
Ovi is leaving the game better than he left it because he got it better than before he got it.
And what's something Colby said, you leave the game better than what you had it. Now, I would love to stop this. Yeah, and I would love to stop this at Kobe, but unfortunately, time and the universe decided he needed to be somewhere else. Him and his daughter praise all sadness, silence. Moving forward. To me, I don't even think there's a conversation who's better, Ovi or LeBron. LeBron destroyed his sport. Ovi lifts his sport. To me, the conversation's over. LeBron has ruined the NBA. And it's going to take people like...
Name a hockey player that gave a black eye to hockey. Even the people that fought. They made the game interesting. They made it fun, entertaining.
I love hockey.
You can't say the same thing. Even Draymond Green didn't ruin the NBA, but LeBron did.
Yeah,
Draymond played a little part in ruining it.
Yeah, he didn't ruin it. He might have ruined his own.
He got a little bit of Kool-Aid in that little mix.
I don't know.
He definitely watched the pot. I'm just saying. Yeah. He made sure it didn't boil over.
He was just a don't touch it, it's hot guy.
And this is the thing.
Of the sizzle.
You got Ovechkin, even in those times, he's getting in these fist fights. He's getting brutally, his body's going through, and he's still able to carry it over 20 years. And I'm like, of course LeBron is going to be able to do that. He's got billions of dollars that he can pay for people to, and it's not again, if you have it, use your resources. I'm not knocking your resources. Do what you have to do to make sure that you can stay at the tip-top shape. However, you're not going to sit here and tell me that some of these plays that you see LeBron do and you're just like, and it's not even LeBron. It's just about 80% of the league doing these ridiculous flopping, acting, and...
Yeah, it'll be an interesting conversation. We'll definitely have one sooner rather than later about what we think the NFL needs to do. I think it'd be perfect to hear it from Puerto Rican and 2 bald white guys. I think we are the exact thing basketball's looking for.
Who's going to check us?
Who's going to check us? Not Lisa.
Last time I checked, we're experts.
Yeah, not Lisa.
She's gonna check you.
I'm just all right. The one thing I know is this game isn't going to be a blowout. Moving on to the NFL.
Check these fellers. Who's going to check these fellers? These young folk. These two white boys.
Did you know, Patrick, that according to sports.betmgm.com and packerswire.usatoday.com, two legitimate sites that hold fantastic statistical numbers,
are too legit to quit,
say that the Green Bay Packers had 33 dropped passes last season, which tied them for third most drops in the league alongside the New York Giants and Los Angeles Chargers. Their drop rate was 6.9%, the second highest among NFL teams. It seems like drops were a significant challenge for the Packers' passing game.
I would have thought that Green Bay led the
you put
league.
that on?
The way we were bitching about me, the way I was bitching about it, I would have thought they led the league. But yeah, we saw a lot. We saw
Wide
a lot of
receivers,
drop
by the
passes.
way. I put that one.
Put that
Because,
on the gloves?
because go ahead.
No, obviously, it's pretty obvious that we had fumble fingers. We had a lot of MVS-esque players out there making not the best of the opportunity that was given to them and probably the worst of the opportunity that was given to them. We need to get tight ends more involved. We talked about this. Kraft needs to be a bigger part of the offense. He needs to become a Travis Kelce-esque player, not on the same level, but he needs to have that mentality, that fight or flight, get out there and do what you got to do. Green Bay is probably going to be without Watson to start the season. He tore his ACL at the end of the year, and they got to replace him. I'm assuming we're going to draft one.
I've heard good news about that. We're going to get to the drafts. I've got a list of all the people that have come to visit Green Bay so far. The Green Bay's pre-draft list. Wide receivers are heavy on that list.
But the thing is, players drop balls. It happens with every team. It's something
Yeah.
that can be corrected, and it's something that can be taught. Some of it's route running.
Now, here's where I was steering with this, and those are all perfect points, and I love that. Young wide receiver core, young team.
wide receivers.
We expect to see drops. Jordan Love's passing yards last year,
And he throws the hardest ball in the
3,389, 11 interceptions, 25 touchdowns, with a completion rate of 63.1% and a passer rating of 96.7%.
I'm not upset with what he did last year. He was
In
also
terms of
he also
his-
came back from being hurt too. So
In terms of his league rankings, his passing yards per game ranked 19th, his touchdowns 10th, and his QBR placed him 5th in the league. Now, despite all of those drops and despite everything else, we've got a quarterback per se that's overall a top 12 quarterback in the league.
yeah, this past season.
This past season, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm being
He's-
generous when I say top 12. I think he's more top 8.
But yeah, the season before he was top 5, top 6. He regressed, but how much of that was injury after the Eagles game? Do we even know?
Of course, he played with injury. He played with drops.
Yeah,
We're number 3 in the league for drops.
yeah, that'll play into
Number
it. big time.
2, we had the second highest drop rate per game in the NFL.
Yeah,
So I think Jordan Love is progressing. I think he's progressing great. I think this is what Josh Jacobs was talking about when he said we needed a true wide receiver. We needed a number 1 guy. We needed somebody that Jordan can throw the fucking ball to and catch it.
Reliable.
Absolutely. Yeah. On your point, Tucker Kraft, I believe the passer rating when Tucker Kraft was targeted was almost 20 points higher than all of the other players on the league. I think it was like 137 for Tucker Kraft, and I think it was 117 for the rest of the team. Don't quote me on those exact numbers. I don't remember the decibels. But I enjoy where Jordan Love is at. I enjoy where the progression of our team is going. I think last year I was very excited about our defense. This year, I'm excited to see our team play football. I'm not focused on the defense or the offense. I'm focused on how this team has grown as a team. This will be Jeff's second year. They'll be growing. We've got a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of first-round picks in that defense. It's time for them to show up. What say you?
No, I agree. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm excited. the draft is going to be very entertaining for you and I. Like, we get to watch the first pick live in the first round. Hopefully not a Jordan Morgan-esque football player. Hopefully this is somebody both Charles and I don't lose our shit on. And by the way, next episode, I'm going to have that montage of Charles losing his absolute shit on the first pick last year. And hopefully when we do an episode after the draft, I can have Charles's reaction jumping up and down with joy.
I tell you,
best picks ever.
I tell you,
it's difficult to get excited because expectations can ruin it for you.
Igbuke, because I can't say his name, and I'm terribly sorry for that. I will learn. I will do better. The first time I spoke Danish, it sounded like I was at a 7-Eleven. Now I do okay. Vjeden good eat. It's a little better. Yeah. So Vjeden. But anywho, some notable visits, some pre-draft visits for the Green Bay Packers. And this is what's got me very excited. Everything that we had talked about on our pre-drafts, on our picks, everything's lining up this way. I have a feeling that it's the Green Bay Packers, so we have a lot of picks this draft. I believe we're going to do like a pick dump and try to jump back up to get a wide receiver. I'm guessing we're going to go offensive lineman or edge rusher. But we had John Williams, Cincinnati, versatile lineman, who's likely to transition into the guard position via the NFL, and Dalton Cooper from Oklahoma State, a potential swing tackle with impressive athleticism. So I think those are our more second round, third round draft picks.
Yeah.
We did have, and this is what's got me fucking super excited. We brought in Emeka and Matthew Golden for pre-draft visits, bro.
Matthew Golden is going to, if y'all find a way, whether it's in the second or third round to draft.
Matthew Golden, 4.29, 40-yard dash.
Me, coming from somebody that's been able to witness his greatness, that would be a steal in the second or third round for you guys.
I'm happy with speed. I just don't.
He's not. He's fast, and he's able to get those good balls, and he's able to make people miss once he's getting those yards after catch.
You see what Matt does with Jaden. Imagine what he could do with somebody like Golden. So that'll be interesting. And with the pickup from Malcolm, again, we're able to pick up for the position, not for a plethora, which is something not a lot of teams get the pleasure of doing. A lot of the times you're looking for a Swiss Army knife. Right now, we're headed to a knife shop looking for the sharpest knife. And I feel excited about that. How about you, Patrick?
Absolutely. I can't be more excited. I'm actually happy that we get to witness it. Like I say, I want to be there.
It's gonna make the pain hurt more or the joy feel more joyful.
Like I said, it's either you're gonna get our expectations and our hopes up way too high, or we're gonna be like, we'll be jumping up and down and be like, we told you so. We knew we were gonna draft that guy. We knew it.
And then of course we did have some edge rushers come in. James Pierce, Tennessee, is a top pass rushing prospect with elite athleticism. I believe you've mentioned his name a couple of times, Patrick.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M.
I'm very high on Stewart, hoping that he can come in and he could be a game changer.
Yes. So Lucas Van Ness and Tucker Kraft right now, along with Mike Murphy and a bunch of the other alumni, are out on their tour. Man, I'm really excited about Tucker Kraft, but I don't want to take too much more time. That was our Hot Packer Minute. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Because I would love to jump on the Bears.
Oh, go ahead and jump right on Chicago.
I want to hear, because this is our NFC North segment, because we're all going to talk about the Vikings and the Lions after the Bears, but I would love to hear what the Bear thinks about the cheese.
You're muted.
I was eating. I know how y'all don't like
the
eating part.
It's all right.
Y'all want y'all's cheese? You need to talk about y'all's cheese or my cheese?
Both. Start with the earliest one, though, because you should be done in seconds or minutes. Doesn't matter.
I feel like the consensus that everybody keeps talking about, the rumors, if it even is considered rumor at this point, it's going to be Boise State Ashton Genty being drafted 10th overall. If he, for some reason, makes it that way.
I've heard the Raiders love Genty.
Yeah, so I heard that as well.
He makes it there.
It's either them or you. So
my dream,
Jets.
So these are the three things that I've been hearing a lot or seeing a lot. I don't know if you guys seen it. A lot of rumors. It's just like people doing mock trades and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't. Right now, I'm hella focused on Green Bay, and I've got a little salt and pepper in Minnesota and Detroit because of the NFC North, and we have friends and family who love them. So I try to give them as much as I can.
I've seen at least 3 mock trades. I don't know how reputable they are.
Yeah,
but basically they don't go in too much into draft picks. I couldn't see it. I couldn't remember it. But the thing that stood out was the Jets trading Swift and Hall, basically swapping running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I wouldn't be upset with Breece Hall if that were to actually be an actual factual trade. We all know that that's never going to happen.
Don't say never.
I'm not going to put my eggs in that basket.
I
was gonna say I can connect dots. You have Aaron Glenn, the head coach now of the New York Jets, who had to scheme 2 times a year, had to scheme twice a year for Swift, probably built a really nice relationship with him at some point in time off the field.
But I'm seeing a lot of Genty. That's basically been like what's been getting drove in. If for some reason he's not there, I've seen 2 names. I keep forgetting his name, but he's a defensive tackle for Michigan. I think he's a defensive tackle.
Kenneth Grant? Or
Kenneth
no,
Grant.
Mason Graham?
Mason Graham or Will Campbell. Okay. I don't think Campbell's going to make it that far down. I think he's going to get scooped up just because.
I think one or the other will be there. I don't think both will be there, but I think one or the other.
Is DB up on the list for Chicago? Because that would be Will Johnson, too.
We do need
I can see Will Johnson, too.
See, Will Johnson is high. The Raiders are high on Will Johnson as well. It's why I could see Genty drop into the Bears.
Here's the thing: is Travis Hunter's not going to be there?
No,
I don't see him making it past the 3rd pick.
See, the reason why I believe Genty is going to be picked up.
You think he's going to get picked up before Chicago? Correct.
No, I think Chicago's going to get. No, I think Raiders are going to pick up Will Johnson. You got.
You think
Woodson? You got Tom Brady.
Scenario.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I keep forgetting that Brady's got his hands in the Raiders. Yeah.
But the reason
they just gave him how much money for Wilson again? They gave him Geno Smith. A
2-year extension. I think 2 years, $75 million or something like that.
Like 80 something.
Yeah. So here's why I believe Genty's going to fall to the Bears. Mostly because everything inside of me is praying Will Johnson goes to the Raiders. Not because I want Will to go to the Raiders. I'd rather him come to Green Bay, but he'll never make it into the 20s. So go to the Raiders and we'll get you later. But in the meantime, the Bears are going to end up having to cut some weight. And I think the realistic weight cut is your running back Swift and Keenan Allen, which would also allow you to get younger and grow with each other. If you can cut that weight, per se, it will allow for more flexibility and maneuverability in the future, because if you're a realistic fan, which you are, you're not thinking playoffs or Super Bowl this year. You're just looking at what's happening next. And if there's some form of a foundation poured, then this idea coming into fruition is even better. Having a guy like Genty to back up Caleb Williams for the next 3 years behind a rebuilt offensive line does seem like a much better idea than that money being spent on Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift right now.
Well, for one, I don't think Keenan Allen is going to come back just for the fact of how much money he's asking.
Yeah.
He's wanting to get paid, I think, between 20 to 23 million a year. And I'm sorry, you're on the other side of 30. And as reliable as he can be, he's still injury prone. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay an injury prone receiver on the other side of 30. I don't care what they paid Cooper Kupp. I'm not paying him that much money.
I don't even want to get into it with Cooper Kupp. I already got into it with a coworker about Cooper Kupp, and I'm like, they overpaid.
I'm not doing it.
They overpaid.
I'm not doing it.
No. Yeah.
They paid Sam Darnold $100 million.
I know. I'm saying that whole team's overpaid.
So,
I mean, all of us are on that same page with that. I'm like, that's just an aging degenerate team.
So according to, let's see, I guess it would be NFL.com or sources closest to the Bears. You've had Josh Connerly Jr., Will Campbell,
I believe Will
and
Campbell's
Jonah
probably the most common name we've heard thrown around.
and Jonah Savina. Those are the offensive linemen you've had visit. Running backs, Ashton Genty, and then Smith from SMU.
There was another one. What's his name?
A converted wide receiver.
No, he's out of Georgia. He's either Georgia or Tennessee. I think it's Tennessee. What's his name?
On this list as well as linebackers Nick Martin from Oklahoma State and then a wide receiver Isaiah Bond from Texas.
Isaiah Bond and both Goldman are two top receivers that it's going to suck for Texas to lose. But they were clutch whenever they were able to get to the ball. One, catching, route running, yards after catch. Like those two were, and especially the deep balls. They were very good deep threats in Texas for us. So I wouldn't be mad at that, but I don't know if I would take them, any of those, with the 10th pick, though. I feel like I understand we talked about not so much worried about the reach, but at some point, some reach has got to be discussed. I'm like, will they still be there in the second round?
Yes. This is the thing that's got me scared about the wide receivers this year. When Green Bay should take a Mecca, they're probably going to end up taking a defense or an offensive lineman, especially considering what happened to us last year with something not working out. If you ask experts, people who, whatever you want to fucking think about that word, I don't care. This draft class, while it doesn't have a buttload of blue chip talent per se, the wide receivers very deep. And wide receivers being drafted from the second round to the fourth round have very little in regards of paper between them. So you're drafted
a loose situation.
You're drafted. Yeah. You could be drafting a second round guy in the third round, or you could be drafting a fourth round guy in the second round. So that's why I hope if the home run is there, we swing for the fence, because you're looking for a ground rule double or a double if you're batting in the second to fourth rounds, in my opinion. So the depth allows teams to address their needs without necessarily spending a first round pick on wide receiver. So there's a lot out there, depending on where you are in the second round for a lot of teams. So there might be a lot of room for a lot of action.
Ways that I see us not drafting Genty. One, he gets drafted before we get there.
Yeah,
that's number one. Number two, we trade down. That's the only way that I could see that not happening. But I don't see us trading down. I haven't seen any reports of any trades or any chatter of Chicago trading down.
No.
So the only option is to not get Genty is, one, he gets drafted before we get there, or two, we literally just decide to go a different route just cause.
It's not the thing about this year. It was Caleb or bust last year because you had two, but you also had two picks last year. This year, it's not Genty or bust because there's so many different options for the Bears. If that offensive tackle is there, you fucking go for it.
If Will Campbell is there.
Will Campbell is there. It's an absolute no-brainer if you're the Bears. But like Charles said, it's the fucking Bears, and they'll find a way to piss their pants. I don't know.
I knew we were going to take Caleb Williams. That was a given.
That was a given. It was a no-brainer.
No going away from that.
Regardless how terrible he was.
The second pick, if it was me, I'm picking Joe Alt.
Yeah, everybody would
over Rome Odunze. And it's nothing against Rome, because Rome is going to be a great player in this league.
That was a bigger
That wasn't the pick that I needed.
So with only one pick, you can't be that disappointed if they either take.
If they take Genty, I'm not surprised, but I'm upset.
Yeah, I'd be upset if I was a Bears fan too.
I'm shocked, and I'm possibly pissing my pants.
Yeah.
Or even if you take an offensive tackle, period.
I think financially it makes sense. It's weird. It's weird. I'm on board with you on that. But I don't know.
The Bears have disappointed me. When you've said this, I don't know how many times, Charles.
They're
Yeah,
good at it. They're
the
very good
Bears
at it.
have
That's
hurt
why.
me. They've hurt me, and I'm reluctant to put my trust in that organization to make sound decisions. Have they made sound decisions this offseason? Yes. However, I've been bamboozled before. So it's hard to put my undivided trust and benefit of the doubt mentality that this front office and this head coach now all of a sudden have their screws on tight and they're looking at the bigger picture versus what these analysts are saying who you should draft because this is what you need versus what is it that you want? What is it that you feel is going to be the best fit for the team? Not what Mel Kiper or Todd McShay say or ESPN says or NFL or CBS. What is it that the Chicago Bears front office want and need? That's what's important. Until that day comes, I'm not doing shit. I'm damn sure not going to buy another jersey. But I want to be surprised, but in the best of ways come this draft this year. Because I'm like, last year was we got to see what Caleb Williams would be capable of doing. He had instances of greatness or, oh, he can get this. Oh, he could do that. This year is, okay, we beefed up the line, allegedly. We got the head coach that will be able to fix Caleb, whatever he needs fixing. Now it's time for Caleb to put all the pieces together and make it happen. If last year wasn't a do or bust, it's definitely this year. But I'm going to still give him till the end of his rookie contract because hypothetically, this is a whole new system. He has to learn a new playbook, all that crap. But I'd be lying if I say that I'm still not trusting all this shit yet.
No, I can't wait until after the draft and it gets closer to the season start. I want for your prediction on what you think the Bears are going to do moving forward and what you think the progression is going to be from last year to this year. Because what was your over-under last year? Charles might remember it, but we'll see if you remember.
8 games, no more than 8. I think it was like over-under was 8-9 games, and I said
no. Caleb's personal stats. He was under 30 touchdowns.
I have it written down, actually. I think
Charles apparently found the paper from our picks from last year too as well. We did pretty damn good.
I have it right here.
He's looking for it now.
Don't ask me where I put it.
Anyway, we were around 78%, I think, for an average.
Charles, last year for Jordan Love, you said that he was going to have over 3,000 yards, over 20 touchdowns, and 16 picks.
But he was good on everything when he was under on the picks, so I would say that's a win for
You had
Charles.
him for 3,500, 25 tutties, and 12 picks.
I got damn.
Yeah, you were hella close.
I had Caleb
I don't know about the 3,500 though, but
32,
200,
23, and 16.
All right.
So I wasn't off too bad.
To be honest with you, not being a Bears fan, there is only consistent or up from this point on.
I just want progress.
He ranked 27th, and we could go through all the malarkey and all the reasons, blah, 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 blah. Regardless, he ranked 27th, so we're thinking no matter what, it can't be worse than that. Because if you're 28, 29, 30, 31, or 32, you're just as good as 27, let's be honest. And you're just as good as 26.
Like the gap ain't that big.
The gap isn't that fucking far away. We're talking about Derek Carr here and fucking Caleb Williams. Okay, so
tomato.
Either way, you're going into a game thinking somebody else has got to win this for us. So it doesn't really matter. So there's really only up from here. The thing that I would be afraid of the most is Ben Johnson's complexity and Caleb Williams not being able to get rid of the ball in under 3 seconds.
I don't need another Detroit situation.
Yeah.
So. I don't need that Detroit. I don't need a Washington Commanders situation. I need the coaching staff to be able to reel these motherfuckers in and be like, hey, until that clock hits 0, I need your head in the game at all times.
Yeah.
Period.
Because regardless on everything, the Bears will allow Ben Johnson to draft at least one quarterback. So it's not even really, this is Ben Johnson's show. How does episode 1 go?
Caleb's getting 4 years. He's getting 4 years. He might get benched after year 3, but he's getting 4 years.
If Caleb can't run Ben's offense, this is his last year.
I give him 2 years, but Ben Johnson.
In Chicago. He'll be on the
Well,
bench.
he might get benched if he doesn't. If he can't run it,
If he can't run Ben's offense, it's not even there's like flashes. Maybe he can.
It's a yes, no question. It should be with an offensive guru. Usually, he's going to know whether or not he can run it just based off practice.
Training camp is going to tell a lot.
So this leads
preseason will tell a lot too. Yeah.
This leads me to my final question of the NFL for us. In the NFC North, who do you think has the most pressure via the quarterback? Would it be Jordan Love, McCarthy, Williams, or Goff?
I think Goff does.
Okay. Explain.
You lose your offensive play caller.
Correct.
Which I don't care what anybody says.
John Morton has stepped forward as the new offensive coordinator, while Kelvin Shepard has been promoted to defensive coordinator. So they stayed in-house. Don't ask me anything more. I don't know much. We'll have to get some of our Lions friends to call in live.
1 year.
However, I think, unfortunately, it's going to be this guy.
Probably Chicago. Yeah.
This guy.
New head coach, new offensive scheme.
Because even with Goff losing Ben Johnson, he still has some capability of knowing how to run an offense in the pro setting, more so than Caleb does. You know what I'm saying? J.J. McCartney, technically, this is going to be his rookie year. So there's going to be a little bit of grace that we might have to give him.
Apparently, nobody's even said if he's a starting quarterback. They've never said that he's a starter.
And then Jordan Love, he's still in the same system. Regardless if the receiving core changes, he's still in the offensive scheme.
I've seen back-to-back progression years for Love, so yeah.
So there's
we know what you're getting.
Yeah. Right. There's not a whole lot of pressure on Love as there is.
There's not a mystery around the talent and the arm and all that stuff. Yeah,
in the offseason, he's been doing the right thing, saying the right stuff.
I think it's either between Goff and Williams, but I would probably lean more towards Williams just because of the bigger picture of all the. He's had a lot of changes thrown his way.
You didn't replace any pieces outside of coaching with Detroit. You still got a lot of weapons and a lot of
players. The Lions roster moves have mainly been focusing on retaining key players and addressing needs through the draft and free agency.
So I think Caleb is going to have.
Chicago is talked so much.
I think Caleb has probably got the most pressure on his back. Even more because you're the first overall pick of last year's draft.
Yep.
You're supposed to be this generational talent. You have already all this pressure mounted on you from the year before. Now you have a beefed up offensive line. Now you have an offensive guru-minded head coach. You have all the pieces that supposedly are supposed to make you this great generational talent. What are you going to do with the keys to the kingdom?
Okay. Patrick? Put out there, PR. Who do you think has the most pressure quarterback-wise in the NFC North?
Quarterback-wise, it's Chicago. It's freaking Caleb Williams, and it's Ben Johnson's offense. There's not even a question about it, because Minnesota hasn't even named a starting quarterback, so we don't even know what they're going to throw out there.
Well,
we all pretty sure it's going to be JJ, but even with JJ,
it's JJ. But okay, so even let's just say it is JJ. The Vikings won 14 games last year.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's a lot of they retained everything that they had. It's not like he's not going into a loaded freaking grocery cart. Like, he's got groceries on the shelf, like, to play with. Yeah. He's got new toys.
He's basically getting what Caleb got last year, just with a better head coach.
Okay. If you listen to Kevin O'Connell talk, he's got a lot of expectations for JJ, and they fall along the lines of a starting quarterback. So I do believe JJ is going to be there. Personally, you think it's Caleb Williams, though, Patrick. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I also said new toys in the kitchen. I meant new toys in the toy room. Yeah.
I got toys in the kitchen.
Yeah, toys in the kitchen. Toys in the bedroom, toys in the kitchen.
Ice cream scoop and everything.
They're all over the place.
But Caleb Williams, new head coach, you think, yeah, I see where both of y'all are coming. For me personally, I believe it's Jared Goff. I do. I think this is his moment to show
That it wasn't a fluke?
more or less that it wasn't a fluke. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's time for Goff to show that he isn't who he's been. The guy to bring you there, not the guy to take you home. And sometimes I'm getting rid of you not because you're terrible, but because I found somebody better in these regards.
Another LA Rams situation happening this year, maybe?
I don't see it, no. God, no. I see it happening in the next couple of years, yes. More, I can really see it happen at the end of next season if things go the way I think they're going to go and Ryan Tannehill Jr. plays like Ryan Tannehill Jr., because then you're going to be in a situation where you've got a really good team in a really good spot, and the only thing that's hurting them is the captain of the ship more often than not.
Oh, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
And it's been proven twice now, or you can even say 3 times,
Yeah.
that Goff isn't going to be the Super Bowl dream. He's the character that gets killed 33 minutes into the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. What does he need to do this year? Not so much to convince you that he can be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he has the potential to lead a team to a Super Bowl and possibly win.
I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that he can lead a team to success.
Success in the Super Bowl is two different things.
Two different things, absolutely. That he can't. It's to me.
What do you need to see?
I needed to see him win when it mattered, and he.
Okay, so now it's even more pressure. One, because now not only do I need to see you win, but I need to see you win without having Ben Johnson calling the plays for you.
Not only that, but you had Ben Johnson, you had everything in front of you, and all anybody can talk about is how destroyed your defense was, per se. That's cool, but I seem to remember. We won't even get into all those. Are great.
So I just want to show a stat, or not show, but
Packers Super Bowl 35 points.
So there was a stat that I saw.
Yes.
From last year's defensive backs from each team in the NFC North, right? So for the Packers, I think y'all's average between Jair Alexander and who was the guy on the other side?
Which, by the way, all signs are pointing to Jair Alexander being back with Green Bay, which is something this podcast was very high on from the beginning. We told all of you to just sit back and enjoy the ride and chill and see what the happens.
Who was the guy on the other side of Jair? Like the other main guy next to him on the
Xavier McKinney.
So Xavier McKinney. So their average QBR when they were getting pass thrown to as those being y'all's tops DBs, y'all's average between the both of y'all's I think was 73 QBR.
Okay. Yep.
Minnesota's was 78. Chicago's I think it was 82. Guess what Detroit's DBs were?
What do you mean? The 31st.
89 QBR.
Oh, you're great. You're grading the QBR. I was like ranking. I'm pretty sure they're second to last.
QBR for DB was 89. So they had the worst coverage. Like Charles.
Charles brought that up multiple. Every time he'd bring up the Lions, he would fucking bring up how bad their freaking secondary was.
The question is not only was their coverage bad, their offensive line was hurt. So now, if they get everything the way that it's supposed to, allegedly, defense is back. Full healthy. They sign everybody.
They drink milk more often than not.
Make sure their bones don't break.
Yeah.
And they draft accordingly, like they have been the last 2 years, and draft correctly. It's basically on them at this point. There's no excuses, especially for me, because again, last year I was a big for Detroit.
Yes.
As far as for Jared Goff. So now, for me, as a fan, just being a fan of NFL, I just like with Josh Allen, I can't keep defending you if you're going to keep doing the same stupid shit.
Owen Allen? Owen Allen got his MVP this year.
I still can't defend you. You're still going to do the same stupid shit.
It's your name until otherwise. It's Owen Allen. I have no idea what else to tell you. Sorry, Bills Mafia. Deal with it. Owen Allen. Okay, so I heard a lot of political bullshit there, PR. And
it is what it is.
More or less what I gathered from all of that, and I love you to death, is that you're on board with me when I say Jared Goff can't get you a Super Bowl. How many, you know what? I'm all for third and fourth chances. The universe has gifted me over 20 grand multiple times. I'm hoping to achieve this a third time, and maybe Jared Goff can get to a Super Bowl and lose it for a third time, and then everyone will see what I see. I don't think Jared Goff is a terrible quarterback. You've made it to the NFL, and you're making a lot of money. But I didn't think Ryan Tannehill was a good quarterback. I don't think Ryan Tannehill Jr. is going to be a good quarterback.
So who's worse, Sam Bradford Jr. or Jason Tannehill Jr.?
Who made more money?
Probably Goff.
Yeah, because he's had a max deal.
He's had at least 2 max deals.
Okay, then.
Not max deal. But
Congratulations, Goff.
Major contracts.
It's a business.
But technically, Sam Bradford has probably made more money than all 4 of them.
Well, I don't know. I think he only had 1 contract.
He stole it.
No, Sam Bradford before was the dude everyone talked about before Kirk Cousins. To me, the answer to that question is whomever made more money. Because ultimately, all you're trying to do is get the most out of the NFL as they try to get the most out of you before they kick you to the curb because you never kick them to the curb.
Kirk Cousins needs to write a book then.
I'm never upset at any of them. I hope they all get paid as much as they can.
I actually know what? No.
Fucking love them to death.
No, Sam Bradford wasn't the one that stole the most money. It was that Washington Redskins nose tackle. Hainsworth got so much money. Just can't forget about that.
Like $100 million contract.
And didn't he not even play?
He did not last there for that long.
Yeah, he was like cut after 2 seasons.
He might have gotten one ridiculous contract, but Sam Bradford stole from at least 4 teams.
Yeah. Final NFC comment. There is still time left, but I would love to throw a little karma on this, maybe to help them out. But as of right now, there haven't been any recent reports of arrests involving NFC North players this offseason, aside from the incident with Brandon Joseph of the Detroit Lions. I could keep an eye out for updates or provide information on other divisions. Don't care about other divisions. Don't care about updates. 2024, he was arrested for DUI or some shit.
No, I think he just did something recently.
Oh, Brandon Joseph again?
No, Addison from Minnesota.
Oh. Hold on.
I think he got it was something with speeding or something like that.
Faced some challenges recently. He was cited for a misdemeanor DUI in 2024 and is working its way through the court system. If found guilty, Addison could face suspensions. Despite these, he appeared to adapt. Head coach Kevin O'Connell has expressed confidence in the backup receiver, Jalen Naylor, who stepped up during Addison's absence last season. So there's not that it's not true, but I'm not seeing anything immediate here. I might see it tomorrow. So if anything else does come out, we're keeping our eye on it. Countdown to the beginning of the offseason or the beginning of next season. But right now, the Detroit Lions lead the NFC North arrest for this offseason. Fantastic job. Well done. You guys had that title last year. You're really looking to hold on to it. Congratulations.
You're an idiot.
No, it was definitely Hainsworth. Is $222 million, only 135. Only 135 million for Sam Bradford, and Sam Bradford actually won football games. Hainsworth just took money and ran, and he also played for 5 fucking teams. No, I wanted to dig into it because I knew Hainsworth.
Hainsworth is the next.
Yes,
he's going to be coaching.
He got like 120 guaranteed.
Everybody knows of Bradford, but Hainsworth also played.
Hainsworth is the real thief here.
Yeah, Hainsworth.
Swiper, no swiping.
Swiper, no swiping.
And he was the same guy because before he went to Washington, he was in Tennessee and he smashed somebody's head in with his cleats.
We can literally, we'll have an episode where we will go through, we'll have a Sweet 16 of players that stole the most money from NFL teams over the years. And I guarantee, for one, Bradford and Hainsworth are both going to be one seeds. We got to put them on the opposite side because we can't have them meet in the middle.
Okay, so the Minnesota Vikings, I don't know much about Minnesota. They have quiet off seasons. Their head coach is very confident. They have a very good football team. We'll do our futures next week. We'll do our way too early futures next week. And then, of course, we'll give you, after the preseason, what we think all the teams are going to do. Fantasy football's coming up. We're redoing our entire division. I will definitely crescent the reality. I will I'll do a Viking burial.
Oh, yeah.
And everything.
We doing our way too early relegation of what teams are going to be kicked out?
We're going to hit relegation as well. Absolutely.
Why not get relegated in our division?
It's just preseason relegation. Yeah.
With the housing market being what it is, and me finding out that as a veteran living in Wisconsin, if I'm a resident for 5 or more years, my property taxes are free. So we are staying.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yep.
In Texas, anyway.
Yeah. Yep. You got to be 100%, but I am. Yeah, so that'll be fantastic. So we've decided to rework the scenario we're in. So I'll be switching rooms because I talk a lot, and you've got the upstairs, the floor. So we're gonna move me to a further corner in the house.
Oh, you don't want to be throwing like a basketball on the keyboard?
Yeah, it's fine. It's for the people. It's always for the people. But I think I'm getting a bigger TV because of it, so I'm okay with it.
That's a win.
Yes. So is there anything else? The UFC's coming up. Hoorah on that one. That's fantastic. John Cena's supposed to be on the WWE's.
Yeah, WrestleMania is next weekend.
Yep.
And this
so
is
we're expecting
John Cena's last year, and I'm pretty sure he's going to win just because it'd be stupid not to do it.
I don't know. I think it would be a better story for him to lose, which leaves the door open for him to come back for revenge later on down the road.
Oh, he's done after December. Now, if he does lose, because he teamed up with The Rock, so he's a bad guy now.
Yeah,
it's weird. That's such a weird thing to say.
After 23 years.
Yeah.
So
all of your relationships are toxic. Even that one kid right there.
Dude, to make that little 10-year-old cry.
At this point, just bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm smashed beers over his head.
I love Steve, man.
Year, but yeah,
I like John Cena more now. And Peacemaker season 2, that'll be in the mix. So I finished Reacher. If anybody watching Reacher? Okay, all right. We'll move forward. I'm now moving on with the Wheel of Time.
Never heard of it.
Oh my God, that's a good show.
What's it on?
Amazon Prime.
Got it.
Yep. So that one's fantastic. Season 2, I'm on season 2 right now. It took a little bit longer to get into, but now that I'm like, oh my God, let's go.
Yeah, you're gonna lose your shit watching it, Paul. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So you got to get past the first 15, 20 minutes, and then you'll be good.
Yeah. And these are all things we talk about on Monday's episode. Stop being so weird. Show up on Mondays.
I don't know. I don't get the invite, so I don't know when.
That's my bad. I'll send you an invite. That's my bad.
This Monday not so good because I'll be out of town.
You're always out of town.
No, because we got our concert we're throwing this weekend.
He's always
New Orleans.
You're always out of town.
I gotta eat New Orleans food this weekend.
Yeah, you're always out of town. It don't matter.
Anytime after this Monday.
All right.
But
yeah, because we've decided to do the Monday Fun. We always talk about sports, so it's fun to talk about other things.
I'm with it.
Anywho,
can I say one thing? One thing?
Yeah, of course. This is that time.
You guys are already part of the group, but I just want to put it out there. I started a group on Facebook. It's called Strengthen Men. I know that society says that we're not supposed to be able to talk about what we go through in life as men and stuff like that. So I created this group just for us. No politics, no crazy stuff. It's just guys just helping each other's mental health, keeping us strong, so that way not only we can be strong for ourselves, but we can be strong for our families at the same time. So we can live a little longer and not think that we got to keep everything.
Nice. And perfect timing, too, during Stress Awareness Month. Well done on that one. What was the name of that again?
Strength in Men.
Strengthen Men. Fantastic. Patrick, did you have anything else?
No. I'm excited, though, for next week. We'll have to make it super exciting because Paul won't be there.
Oh, you bunch of dickheads.
We'll save all the good stuff for when you come on.
Yes. Now, again, I would like to remind everyone who's going to the draft that it is the perfect time for sex traffickers to be doing their thing. Please go to the website awakenings.org. Check it out. If you're headed to the draft, check it out. Learn the signs. Even if you're not headed to the draft, go check it out. Learn the signs, especially if you're in the area. It's worst case scenario. Somebody thinks you're I don't know. I don't think there is a worst case scenario. If you see any of that shit in the fucking website, just call the cops. Don't be John Wayne, right?
No.
Because that shit never turns out really well. This isn't the books or the movies, people.
No.
All right? But anyways, that's awakenings.org. And then, of course, we're always behind the campaign where if you're gambling and you message one of the student athletes because you lost money, you're a fucking loser, and I hope you fall and break your 2 front teeth, you stupid son of a... And of course, that is drawtheline.org. So these aren't paid, by the way. I don't think anybody would ever pay me to say that. And if you would, hey, we're here.
Never know.
But awakenings.org and drawtheline.org. But for everybody else out there, keep being the best you, because I promise you the world is a better place because of it.
We ain't playing by your fucking rules. We got blocks, we got frames. We're the motherfucking rules. Kicking in the door like a bar fight Friday. Charles with the shots, BLK out sideways. That guy in the booth got the world on blast. Say the wrong name, you'll get cooked real fast. Ain't no filters, no suits, eyes tight. We drop truth like a bomb in the dead of night. Talking ball, talking smoke, talking life in the zone. And if you saw best, believe you should stay the fuck home. We're the boys with the heat, y'all chill, no breaks. Blowing minds like the net when the backboard breaks. Plug us in, set it off, let the devil repeat. The motherfucking gospel of the boys with the heat. Chaos in a whiskey glass. Fantasy league, you're getting last. We torch egos, roast face to ash. Got more bars than your drunk ass dad. Fat Duke, Hunter, Joey, Brett in the pit. Stutzman on the line, bring that line back on grips. And Wagner with the rehab tech. Still tossing bodies on the deck. We ain't ESPN, we ain't trying to please. With the crack in the mask of your media disease. Straight out the Midwest with the fuck you grin. We burn the script, let the fire begin. Boom goes the mic when we spit that flame. Say the name wrong, get the fuck out the game. You want real talk, this is it, uncut. From Fox Valley Talk to a championship cut.